Where could we be? Well, we are in Trumbull Valley. Welcome to Checkpoint Delta. This will be the base that we are going to be reviewing today because, well, there's not a lot to say about Checkpoint Delta. Anyways, welcome to Trumbull Valley. I'm your host, Get Good Fox. We are going to continue the Hyper Community World Tour and review each of the bases. So, let's look at Checkpoint Delta. I decided because I didn't really want to spend more than maybe half of an episode talking about Checkpoint Delta to already have it mostly built up. Checkpoint Delta is the starting base of Trumbull Valley. You're going to find it right here in kind of the west corner, or the west, the far west of the map, essentially. The other bases, you got two down here, one about in the middle, one over here kind of off-center to the east, and then one to the northwest in between this big impassable landmass. The landmark is Echo Labs Research Station, which is either the best one in the game, it's either the best landmark, or it's just kind of meh. In our case, it'll be kind of meh, because we already have access to biochems, but if you don't have access to biochems, then it quickly is the best one in the game, because it gives you guaranteed access. So, what are we dealing with here in Checkpoint Delta? Well, we got ourselves a storage room. Nothing out of the ordinary about it. Let's go and upgrade it. Military cots. They give you 4 beds, and you would not get this 3 morale normally. That's my comfy chair. So you just get the 4 beds, so not super great. Doesn't have any other bonus features. We got our normal everyday command center. Once again, not a whole lot going on there. I guess I'll just activate that. So you have 2 slots to build in. That's the big issue here. You only get to build 2 small facilities, and there's no other built-in equivalents. So I went ahead and built an infirmary so that we could get our advanced biochem station in. And now we are going to go ahead and begin upgrading. Level 2 about to finish. And now we'll go into level 3. Not going to matter. It's about to get torn down. And then over here, I'm going to go with the fighting gym. Why the gym? I want the health. We can live without repairing. And honestly, if you start in this base, I typically go with the gym as well because, once again, if your weapon breaks down, just dump it and get a new weapon. So this base really stinks. It is the worst base in the game, I would say. I don't think, and I don't think it's very controversial to say, because it doesn't. It has the least amount of facilities in the game. All of the other starting bases, they have 3. This one has 2. So you can't really have that kind of beginning good setup of a workshop, an infirmary, and a pick of your choice. I would typically go with, once again, a gym. Some people might try to go with a garden, but with Checkpoint Delta, you just don't have that option. No can do. And as a result, you want to move out of the base pretty quick, but the problem is that if you're playing on a higher level, you can find yourself a little bit stuck in the base, in the sense that if you go up to 4 people, you could run into morale problems, because remember, Lethal Zone is, again, we are playing on Lethal Zone, by the way. Remember that everyone gets minus 30 morale on Lethal Zone, so if you add if you add another survivor, well, you're going to get another minus 3 morale, right? Or minus 30 morale. So now you would be originally minus 90 morale, because, minus 30 times 3 is 90. If you recruit another person, you'll be up to minus 30 times 4, so minus 140 morale, which is, it's not good. It's not good. It's going to make you very sad. And one of the ways you would deal with that is by building a latrine. Just temporarily, but you can't really do that here because there's not enough facilities. You would definitely be having food problems, and if you try to solve any one of those problems, you're just not going to be, basically you just can never address all your problems. And I'm not even talking about all of your problems, period. Just in general, you just cannot address your problems in the base, and as a result, you just want to get out of it quick. But it's kind of rough to just rush into the next base, especially on Lethal Zone. And so, in other words, Trumbull Valley can be a little bit of a rough start. It's interesting, though, because Trumbull Valley is also one of the maps that's pretty good to farm your legacies, because although it has a rough start, it has a very strong late game. Or mid game, really. It's actually very easy to destroy all the plague guards once you get Echo Labs. So a lot of the time, I focus my effort on getting into the Echo Labs rather than getting into the first base. Because if we look here, Pterodactyl Bark, that's the next smallest base. You need to clear 2 plague guards. Well, you also need to clear 2 plague guards here, and that would give you biochems. And if you had biochems, you'd be able to clear out the other ones pretty comfortably. Anyways, let's get started and knock out these. So, my advice is you do want to get out of Checkpoint Delta. Personally, what I would build is the infirmary and the gym. Now, there's different ways you could do it. There's no doubt about that. It's not like a one-size-fits-all solution. I think that's the best way to do it. Let's just knock you out of here. Nice and simple. So this is the reason why. So if you're new to the channel, you might be impressed by how quickly and easily we defeated that plague guard. And that's the reason why Checkpoint, or not Checkpoint Delta, but the landmark is so good, because the landmark produces these items. Normally you would need to get a mod that would allow you to have access to it, but on this map, you can just claim the landmark outpost with Garen, and the mod can be a bit elusive. It can be fairly rare to acquire it. Now, with the Checkpoint Delta, or starting on Trumbull Valley, rather, it's nothing to do with Checkpoint Delta in particular, but starting in Trumbull Valley means you would have access to bloater gas and scent block, because that's the combination I'm using here, both to remain undetected to the zombies and to just easily demolish the plague guards. Let's go ahead and lure these guys out. But the problem is, like I said, you are going to need to clear some zombies to claim it. So in the beginning, it's probably a good idea to focus your efforts into exactly that. Rather than trying to move into your first base, clear the plague guards that are protecting the landmark. And then you can use the biochems to clear towards the base of your choosing. Here we go. Let's go ahead like this. Got it? Now, I was a little more cautious there because the gas is quite dangerous, even to you. And you wouldn't want a zombie to get in front of you while you're throwing, and then the grenade might blow up right in your face. The grenades are very dangerous. Very dangerous. You must be careful. Take caution when using them. So that's why I spent a little bit of time clearing out the zombies so that I could have a pretty clean throw. But Checkpoint Delta, I'm certain that Undead Labs, they were aware of how bad the base would be. And I think they did it on purpose just to make it, a little unique, so that you'd finally have like a base that's like legitimately not good. Like you actually have a really bad first base, because the other first bases are honestly, they're okay. There's nothing wrong with them, to just be totally honest. Here we go. Let's take them out. One more. That's the end of it. So we just hit our hero bonus, and now this area is clear. So I'm going to go ahead and claim, I don't know, food outpost or something. Let's just get started. But whatever Undead Labs decided, they made this base really, really tough. On a lower difficulty, it's not a big deal. Like if you're playing on Standard Zone or Green Zone or even Dread Zone, the first base is probably, Checkpoint Delta, probably not that big of a deal, because your food consumption, your morale, they're not that bad. On Standard Zone, you don't have a penalty to your morale. On Dread Zone, there's either no penalty or a very light penalty, like you don't need that latrine to try to counter your morale. Your food consumption isn't going to be that big of a deal, so you don't have to worry about a garden. In other words, on the lower difficulties, you absolutely can just build Workshop Infirmary, and you don't have to worry about the health. But on the higher difficulties, where accidents can absolutely happen, enemies do way more damage, that gym makes a really big difference. Mainly because the way you die on Lethal Zone tends to be by getting ambushed. And a lot of people will say that stamina is more important than health because it's more important to run away. But the thing is, on Lethal Zone, you can run away with low stamina. You don't really need high stamina to run away. I mean, it certainly helps, but the thing that's going to get you killed in Lethal Zone isn't a lack of stamina. It's the fact that, bam, you're dying right now and you weren't ready for it. It's just, boom, out of nowhere, a feral attacks you. And there wasn't a lot of time to react to it, and it was an ambush. And then it's just a matter of, I don't know, do you have enough health? Or are you just going to die instantly, or do you have enough to survive it? Because once you survive it, you notice how my car is never far away? If you get attacked, let's say you just come out of this door. You're like, oh, I'm right over here. And I'm coming out of this door. And you're like, oh no, feral tackles me, blah. Well, if a feral tackles you, he does damage, and then he knocks you down, and then he gets at least one free hit on you. You could be nearly dead. A brand new character, a fresh character, could be nearly dead in one tackle and one swipe. You will have such low health, and if a zombie is there, to like get an extra hit or two on you, or maybe a zombie bites you and you're mashing the button to escape the zombie, and then a feral jumps on in to give that zombie a hand, then it doesn't matter how much stamina you have. You just have to have the health to survive it. And that's the issue with Checkpoint Delta. It really poses a question of what is the most important facility to build. I think we can all agree you definitely want the infirmary, and that's because you need to be able to heal from injuries. You want to get the infirmary at least to level 2, because you might not be able to. Yes, you want to get rid of Checkpoint Delta. You want to get out of that base ASAP. But here's the deal: you might not be able to. You might be trapped in this base, unable to just leave if you want to, and that's really where the problem is going to arise. The idea that, what do you build? Some people, let's talk about some of the options. A workshop. You can definitely go with a workshop. Why don't I go with a workshop? I don't go with a workshop because, one, in the beginning of the game, you can typically loot some repair kits. Unless your vehicle is just getting the crap kicked out of it all the time, and you have a mechanic so you can actually build repair kits, I don't really go for them. And I don't go for them because, once again, you can loot repair kits, you can buy some repair kits. In the beginning, just tread carefully. Don't drive like a maniac. You know, be a little more cautious with your driving. Not super cautious, just more cautious. And you should be able to play without the workshop. And what about weapons? Well, if you're in Checkpoint Delta, you're in the beginning of the game. There should be plenty of things to loot in the beginning, in the initial town areas, and you should be able to find extra weapons. And you should just be able to dump the weapons off. Like if you don't need that weapon, if it breaks, don't repair it. Just dump it. And just get like a lead pipe or something. Yeah, sure, maybe a pipe isn't a super good weapon, but in the beginning of the game, you know, you just need something. And if changing weapons, like dumping the pipe for another pipe, dumping the pipe for just some crappy axe or something, if that's what saves you from needing to use a... Oh yeah, let's use Drew real quick. I don't know if Drew's rested yet, but we might be able to finish up some of our standing. But if that's what helps you play without needing to use the workshop, then it means exactly that. You can play without the workshop, and therefore you can use that extra facility for something a little more beneficial. So what else can you make an argument for? You've got the gym. Now that's my pick. Why the gym? You want a little bit more health. That health padding, it makes a difference. I am not joking. That little, you're going to like that. You're going to feel a lot better when you got that little bit of extra health. Let's go around smashing some zombies and trying to get her standing up.
I don't want to be near that bloater when it pops.
I see a bunch of freaks right over here. Good opportunity for some standing. There we go. I love to see the chain reaction. Very nice. So that's what I would do. And another thing is, don't forget that it's not just that you get more health. Look at this. You also get more EXP for fighting. So that means if you beat up some zombies, you're more likely to get an extra star of... You're more likely to get an extra star of fighting here and there. And remember, every star of fighting that you get is going to give you more health. So you get more health straight up, but then you also get... Oh, we can loot the plague arts. What am I thinking of? We need money. I forgot I'm not playing Ultra Cash, so like we actually need money. So we can grab some standing and some money while we're here. But that's the reason why I would go for it. Some people might go for a shooting range because they prefer stamina. You know, if you really like stamina, if you think that stamina is what's going to keep you alive, then yeah, go for it. Like I said, I'm not big on stamina. I don't think it's that. I think it's kind of a bit of an overrated stat. But
No, that's heavy.
you could certainly do it. Nothing says that you can't, and it'll work. You can make it work. You just have to be. If you run over a bloater, you could be in a lot of danger. And you know, like you can be as careful as you want. You might. Well, I just won't drive any bloaters over. It's gonna happen sooner or later. It's gonna happen. Now, hopefully, by the time it happens, you've built up your characters, or you've moved into a base where you can have both the gym and the shooting range. But you never know what's gonna happen, and. If you're at the risk of getting insta-killed, let me tell you, having that extra layer of health, it's going to make a difference. We could just run there. It's not that big of a deal. What other options do you got? Another option is food. You can either do a kitchen and ration. I don't like that idea because your morale is already in really bad shape. In addition to that, you know, you're going to be starting Checkpoint Delta with only 3 characters, so... You're going to be saving like 3 food on Lethal Zone. Because remember, what rationing does is it cuts your food consumption in half. And so basically, you're going to give an extra minus 45 morale to every... Or extra 15, apologies. You're going to cause an extra minus 15 morale to everybody. And then you're going to save 3 food. So I don't think that's worth it personally. You could also go with a garden. Or hydroponics. I also don't really think that's too worth it. I think that's better. It's a better option than the kitchen. But I don't think it's a great option.
Nice.
And the reason for that is because what I would do is I would look for a food outpost.
Of course.
And I just take a food outpost. If you take one food outpost, then you are going to be reducing your food loss from 6 to 4. So, you know, one. Oh, there's 3 of them there. Let me set them on fire. Yeah. Let's get on the other side of this. No, you don't. Just need to stun them with fire, and then we can get out of here. So, in this case, our car is a little farther away than it should be. Because I assumed I would be... Now, you know, it's not that far away. This is also why fire is really powerful. And I highly recommend using fire. If you don't like the pyro launcher, you can use Molotovs or fuel bombs. But either way, you can get away from a feral. And now that we have the impaler, we can easily just... farm them for standing, just like this. 4 ferals. So I didn't even know they were there. They caught me completely by surprise. That's an example there where something very bad easily could have happened, but fortunately I did notice them at the last minute. But if you get caught off guard, you're going to wish you had some extra health to survive that initial ambush. And while, once again, you could make the argument that, you know, perhaps the solution is just to be able to run away from all your problems, the real solution, I think, is being able to get back in your dang car and drive away. And to do that, you got to be able to survive that initial attack. So let's loop around. But I would say those are your options for Checkpoint Delta. Your options aren't good. It's a really stinky base. Is it the worst base in the game? It might not be as bad as the corner office, to be honest. The corner office might actually be worse due to its tendency to cause people to get killed. Like, the geometry of the level has a tendency to get your survivors killed. So the corner office might be even worse. But make no mistake, it's not a good base. It's pretty stinky. It's up there. In terms of stinky bases, it's either the worst or the second worst. Let me go ahead and grab this and get our door reattached. So it looks like we lured the Juggernaut away. That was not my plan, but I'm gonna go ahead and just leave these in there in case I need them. And then we can get back to looting these plague guards, because if I sound a little weird, if I'm talking with a little bit of a lisp, earlier I accidentally bit my tongue, and as a result, my speaking feels a little bit impeded by the fact that I bit my tongue. So if I sound a little bit derpy, that is the reason why. Like, the left side of my tongue is, like, sore. Here we go. Oh!
Gotta finish it.
Alright, let's grab this. We'll call this building looted. And like I said, we do need a lot of money, because although we do get a refund,
Nothing more to find here. Let's
we
go.
do gotta move into a lot of bases. Fortunately, the bases here are not as expensive, I don't believe, as Providence Ridge, because Providence Ridge has two 3,500 influence bases. This one only has one, and that would be the farmland compound. I will consider the farmland compound the biggest base, even though technically the cost to the move-in is 6 survivors, not 8. Also, let's refuel. Just throw that in there. I guess I won't have to deal with that Juggernaut. That's fine with me. Like I said, we're also getting our standing back. This character is nearly maxed out. If we could find... Oh, maybe this one feral will do it. Let's see if we can get his attention. That's it. All of our characters are back up to their hero status, which is fantastic. So now we are able to, once again, shuffle through our leaders very effectively. I don't even know who the watchful bystanders are. I also don't care. We've got some work to do right now.
I should be able to find something good in all this.
Give me your
This will
stuff.
slow me down.
I mean, at first I'd be a little mad that we got to make multiple trips, but I'm going to be completely honest. We would need to make multiple trips anyways, because we might as well loot the building that the heart is into. So the reason we took a food outpost as our first is, just to, keep up with our food consumption. It's not a bad first pick, even with Super Waifu Cafeteria Squad. So I don't think we're going to have to deal with that Juggernaut, so let's pull this out, put that in, and then we can clear a little more inventory. Just like that. Then we can clean up this building, and then everything we get that we don't, actively need to use as an active resource for construction or defending the base, we'll probably either scrap it or sell it for some cash money. Let's also get some people in here. Okay, I thought someone else might have heard it. Okay, this building has 8 lootables. Looks like they are trying to, giving me some housewarming gifts. So, welcome to the neighborhood.
Blech, boring.
Ethanol, I mean, could be useful for creating strong painkillers, but at the moment we're okay. Give me some luxury items. That's what'll get us back, or mods. Mods and luxury items will get us back on our feet quickly. I mean, I guess another thing I could have done was just bring an ally with me. I could have just recruited a, I guess we didn't have any. And then I could have just sold to them. Wouldn't have been a big deal. But, What's that term? There's different ways to skin a cat, or whatever that term is, or whatever that old phrase is. But in our case, there's different ways to loot the house.
That's a lot of stuff.
Inventory's full. Let's dump this off. I'm not going to say no to some extra loot. Like I said, we're going to be spending a lot of money moving into these different locations. Plus, we will claim the outpost, the landmark outpost. Oh. Throw these in. You know what? I might even do this just to have one more inventory slot. It makes us a little bit vulnerable, but I think it's okay.
Keep it up and we just might live through this.
Optimistic. Folks are eating right and sticking to their rations. Well, we are the Super Waifu Cafeteria Squad. Just leave it to lethal zone. You just go away for a brief moment, and all of a sudden there's a whole horde of zombies there, a feral and 2 screamers. I mean, that's lethal zone, I guess. Where'd they come from? Your guess is as good as mine. Either way, though, we disposed of them, and now we can get back to work. The work can continue. Snacks? We didn't really get anything good from them. I mean, I guess we got the ethanol and the chemicals. They do sell for a little bit, but for having 8 lootables, we're really finding a lot of junky stuff, I'm not gonna lie. Come on, show me the money.
Okay, time to put
Wow,
this place
we got like
behind us.
one of every like trade crafting item except for electronic parts. We got seeds, we got chemicals, and we got ethanol. Jeez. To the tartan mart, and then we are going to loot this final play guard over here.
The ugly ones.
Now, one of the benefits of dropping our stamina items is that, as you can see, you know what? Here's a better idea. Let's just switch to another character that's better at looting. That way we'll be safer, and we'll have our cake and eat it too. So let me see. Who has a better looting skill? Backpacking and resourcefulness. That's about as good as it gets. I think the only thing better would be, oh my god, he's got the ultimate loot build. Backpacking, resourcefulness, close combat, and assault. That's as good as it gets for looting. I mean, I guess you could have like sewing or something, but this is really good. This is fantastic. Put on the launcher, and then we'll just grab this, that, and whatever. It doesn't matter which one we do. And away we go. Now, I love, what do you call it, backpacking and resourcefulness, because you get 2 extra loot slots, which is really, really nice. Because you do need 8 slots to fully loot a play guard, and you need your back slots, because it drops a total of 9 items. It drops 1 rucksack and then 8 inventory items. And having an extra pocket slot or 2 allows us to carry healing, stamina, and a cure, and still be able to get all of the things. What am I doing? I can do the stomp.
It won't work.
Also, resourcefulness lets us stack our items better. And so does assault. Assault lets us stack our ammo higher.
I need a breather.
And resourcefulness lets us stack various consumables higher. So once again, it lets you save inventory when you are looting. Whereas assault lets you carry, like, I think, close to double the amount of ammo you would normally be able to carry, which once again can save you stack sizes. Oh my gosh, please just die, zombie. Thank you. Let's get this plague art looted. And bingo, we are done. I will see you back at the base. And here we are back home with the ideal screenshot for the thumbnail. And that's Checkpoint Delta. It stinks. Try to get out of it as soon as possible. If you're on a higher difficulty, consider going for the landmark, which once again is right over here, because it will help you clear out the other plague arts, and it's quite good. Anyways, till next time, we will be moving into the Pterodactyl Park next. That will take a little bit longer to build up, giving us time to loot, sell, and kind of get established in the Trumbull Valley region. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Like the video if it was entertaining. Subscribe for future State of Decay 2 content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.